For us, this is the granddaddy of post-war, but maybe even all vintage hockey cards. For us, there are few names which really rise to the level of immortality in the realm of hockey investment. The three biggest are undeniably Howe, Orr, and Gretzky. And then we can expand to include perhaps Lemieux and Rocket Richard as, rounding out the top five for us. And certainly you can go into other names, Bellevue, Hull, and a few others that would certainly round out for us the top 10. But at the top of the list for us, it's Gordie Howe. This is a brand which spanned 5 decades of play, which is unheard of. And he really just represents what hockey as a core means as a sport. He was tough. He loved the sport. He obviously played because he loved the game. And he would play as long as anyone would let him stand on the ice. So the records are many, the notoriety is much, and what we have here is one of the highest graded examples that has ever really surfaced on the market. It's a virtually dead-centered, perfectly preserved example and has received an unconscionable mint designation from SGC, and it's easy to see why. We'll scan around the periphery, but this is just one of the finest Howe rookies that we've ever touched. And, all told, they just don't come looking anything like this. High-grade copies for us would be anything higher than a 5 or a 6. But front and back, this is as well-preserved and special as it gets for the issue. And generally speaking, this just, I don't know. If you've studied this issue, finding high-grade copies is incredibly hard indeed. And when you find them, even then, they don't look like this. Scanning around the periphery, the corners and edges are all very well preserved. We have just the slightest little bits of wear, perhaps at the extreme tip of a couple spots. One of the more notable things about this card is how boldly struck the red coloring is. You can see just how vibrant on his jersey. This isn't common. Oftentimes this is a more subdued coloring. This is about as vibrant, and it pops about as much as you'll ever see on the issue. Important to note on the back as we scan around, aside from it being well preserved, is there's really no ink transfer. Oftentimes on these Parkhurst cards, you can get sort of an ink transfer, oftentimes a darker coloring from the card that was stacked on top of it. So this is as clean and well preserved overall as I think you're ever going to see from the back as well. Surfaces throughout are just immaculate. This is just a stunning investment piece that exists, and it's probably the best preserved and best looking Howe that we've brokered in our history. It's just a stunning piece that anyone looking for the best of the best, this really checks a lot of boxes, and we encourage investors to take a close look.